Hi, I'm David Bowers, Tinplate cataloguer here at Vectis Auctions up on Teesside in the UK. Welcome back to the Tinplate sale for November the 24th. We've got in this sale quite a lot of items, so much so in fact that this is now part 2. I hope you've had a chance to watch part 1. In part 2, besides the usual tinplate and plastic, we've also got some model trains of various sizes and gauges, and we've also got some railway armour. So if you bear with me, I'm going to take you through the items that are in this sale in part 2, and also we'll stop every so often and I'll point 1 or 2 hopefully interesting facts out to you. Okay? Starting down here at the bottom, we've got 2 large boxes with Hornby, Bing, Marklin and other all-gauge railway accessories that people like to use for display, or if they're running trains, they go well on a layout. Okay. Moving a bit further along, we've got here a few items of railway armour. And railway armour are items from the real railways, vintage items that are very collectible now. There's not a lot here. What we have got are some wagon plates, and I'll just show you these here. We've got a very heavy cast iron plate. It's been painted since. This will be attached to the side of a goods wagon. It will give its number, the fact that it could carry 16 tons, the company that made it, in what year, and that's an identification mark for a wagon. The wagon has been long since scrapped, but people keep them and collect them and put them on display. Okay, so we've 3 lots with those. Also, we've got here 2 station nameplates. Now these are absolutely original. In fact, I know the town personally. You can see the size of it. It's about 3 foot long. It's made of heavy gauge steel, and if you're old enough to remember, this would be attached probably to a lamppost up on the platform, and there would be a series of these, so that when you were arriving in the station in the train and you said, which station's this, you'd see these go past as you were pulling in. So that would tell you, in this case, you were at Eccles. Eccles used to be in Manchester, and it's in Manchester, and after 1974, before 1974, it was in Lancashire. They moved it. That's another story. Okay, so there's that one, Eccles, and then another one for a place called Moulton Green, which I happen to know is a district of Eccles. Okay, so that's the railway armour. Moving on to the model trains now. We've got a selection here. I don't know if you can see them or not. I'll roughly show you. We've got some German Bing and Carl Bubb German items there. I'm just looking for you can see a manufacturer's name on there. This coach is probably about 100 years old. GBN, that means Gebruder Bing of Nuremberg. Nuremberg in Germany was a big city where many toys were produced. Okay, so that's a German lot. Another German lot there. Some Hornby trains here. The McConnell company in Liverpool, very famous for Hornby trains and for dinky toys. And in the 20s and 30s, they produced clockwork and electric trains. And these are just examples. The early ones there are marked ML at McConnell Limited of L Liverpool. Okay, so they're not in perfect condition, but they are quite collectible. So that's one lot. Another lot here is a clockwork pre-war locomotive in Southern Railway green. Okay, that should be quite useful. There is another one further up, and I'll show you that one later on as a comparison. Another lot of wagons here. Some more manufacturers, very well respected German company of Marklin. We've got a few Marklin items in this tinplate sale. all of them trains. Same again here, Marklin signal box there. Here again we've got Gebruder Bring, and these were produced in a livery that predates the early 20s. So these are well over 100 years old. This one was the Great Northern Railway, and this other one was the London North Western Railway, LNWR. Okay. Another item here, some Bassetlaw and Hornby accessories here. It's a small lot, but of interest here, you know how having a box makes a toy that bit more valuable. We've got quite a nice box here. It's empty, of course, there's nothing in it, but it is for the Bassetlaw electric 060 tank locomotive in British Railways Eastern region. And if someone has one of these at home that's unboxed, by purchasing this box it will enhance the value, and it will also protect the model. Always worthwhile investment if you're a toy collector and you come across a suitable box. Here we've got items made by the Leeds Model Company, a British company who specialised in making very nice models of the period. And there you can see the LMC badge on the sole bar. American stuff here, Lionel, very well respected American company. We'll see more of them as we go along. And then here we've got a great big display of McConnell Sets. These are mostly, from what I can see, from the 1950s, 60s period. You'll have to excuse the disarray at the moment. I'm still in the process of lossing them up and putting them all together. But these will go into lots of several in each lot. And if you're not familiar with McConnell, perhaps I can just show you. Here you've got the set, so it's Christmas morning, we're unpacking our presents. Take the lid off, and inside, this one's had a bit of use, you'll see an instruction book telling you all the fabulous models that you can make. You can see various vehicles, fire engine, ship, cement mixer, van, crane, and each set would have a different amount of model of components. So a number 10 set, which is worth a four-figure sum these days, would have enough components to build a very large model, whereas at the lower end of the scale, a number 1 set would only have a small number of components to produce a smaller model. Right? And the idea was that inside you've got all these sheets with perforated holes in them, strip, wheels, cogs, screwdriver, box of nuts and bolts, and you simply bolt them together. And when you get fed up with the model, you disassemble it and build another. Okay, and just carrying on down here, I've got here another model that a lady sent in. This here, not a train, we've finished with the trains now. This is what they call a tether car. This car is of aluminium construction. If I'm very careful here, I should be able to undo the side panel. It's going, there you are. And inside we have a real petrol engine. It's only a single spark, and it's what they call a glow plug motor. But this would power the car in the same way that the real car would, using a prop shaft underneath, powering the back wheels. And these tether cars were very popular in the United States before and after the war. And people would race them. They'd be attached by a line to a pole, and they'd need a great big area to run round in. They'd have races and so on. And some of them have achieved fabulous amounts of money, in some cases as much as a real car. But this is a reproduction, so I don't know whether it works or not. It's a very nice reproduction, and for a fraction of the cost, probably about £100, this could be yours. A nice wooden chassis, polished aluminium, rubber tyres, hasn't really had any use, and a very nice display piece for the racing car enthusiast. Okay. Carrying on, we've moved on to another bench. We've done most of the trains and the other Tinplate. This section is from one private owner, and we're going to start off with quite a lot of Tinplate and plastic, mainly cars, a bit of advertising material. The first one looks quite impressive, as you see there, is a former radio-controlled Mini Cooper. It won't be tested, but it's about 1/8 scale. It's quite a large model, very impressive, very popular cars these, as you probably know. So we'll sell that as a single lot. Somebody will like it to put on display, or perhaps even get it working again. Moving on, we've got the Hong Kong plastic cars, a little racing car there, a Bentley, a very nice Ford Thames van. In the 60s, when these Hong Kong plastic toys came out, a lot of parents used to look down on them, thinking they weren't as good as the British made ones. There's an amphibious vehicle. But in actual fact, these days they're quite collectible, because some of them are large scale models, quite accurate, of the vehicles that we remember as kids, especially the Mini and the Ford Thames Caravanette, which is a larger scale copy of the Corgi Toys model. Okay, so moving on, a bit of scale extra here. We've got the Mini from the 50s, and we've also got an Aston Martin, made very popular, of course, by the James Bond films. This is a DB5, I believe. This is in racing colours, and it's got the headlights as well. So it's probably worth, I'd say, £60–70 for the group, starting grid as well. Some Triang Mini vehicles here. The advertising vehicle there for toothpaste, as you can see. The Triang Mini vehicles came in Tinplate and plastic. Those are the plastic cars. The Morris Oxford there, the Morris 8. And then we've got the earlier Tinplate Mini cars. There's a Rolls Royce, of course. Double-decker buses and single-decker buses, always popular. Moving on, tractors, commercial vehicles, some more here, all Triang Mini in various materials. Here we've got a couple of nice Tinplate cars. This one in particular is a nice one. These were made by a company, a British company. It actually goes under different names. That one's Scale X, that one's Start X. And what they are, they have pullback motors. You pull that back and spring loaded, and the car is raced along. Very nicely proportioned model of an Austin Healey, and equally nice Sunbeam Alpine. Wants a bit of a polish. The thing about these cars is that in the 50s they were very popular, and they actually used that size of car, 1/32, to produce Scale X racing cars. So those cars are the forerunner of the Scale X racing system that we know today. Moving on, another well-known British manufacturer, Metoy and Wells, Tinplate cars. That's 1940s. That could be late 30s, early 40s. The Rolls Royce. It's very play worn, but even in that condition, someone would probably have a go at it and perhaps restore it. Another British racing car here, quite nice condition, 1940s. Works quite well if you get it, and that will power along quite fast. Racing number 77, which we always mention. Some vintage vehicles here. These are German. That one is Kraus, and I believe, and that one may well be the same manufacturer. Bit play worn, but they have survived for nearly 90 years, along with a Tip and Co. German lorry. So put those two together for somebody to have a go at perhaps restoring them. But although personally I'd leave them as they are. But even in that condition, they've got a following. More German vehicles here. We've got the Schuko very well respected make, as you can see. 3 vehicles here of Schuko. They nearly always work. This one's got a correct Schuko key, and if I give it a whine like that, then you can actually drive this one. It has steerable front wheels. There's its gear lever, there's its brake, and if I release the brake, you can see the wheel moving there, and this actually moves it. Notice how the engine tone there moves. You can actually move it in 4-speed gears, plus reverse. So very clever how the Germans made that all those years ago, and they still work today. That's another Schuko version, and this one here, only a small one with a starting handles type key. That's Schuko as well, an earlier one, and that's survived very well, as you can see, and that's in working order too. And then finishing off with the cars, we've got some models made in Finland of mainly Volvo cars. These were made as promotionals for people that went to buy a Volvo, and they're very collectible now. And then here we have 3 typically British 1950s cars, 1/18 scale plastic models by a very well-known company in Britain called Victory Industries. They were electric, they were battery operated. Underneath you can see they've got a battery compartment which would go in there, and then the vehicle, when you switched it on, would either go forward or backwards, and the driver could operate it with the steering wheel. They've got a bit of wear on these, and they need a little bit of restoration, but they'll sell well, I'm sure. Nicely proportioned cars. That's a Hillman Minx, that is a Vauxhall Velox, and that is a Triumph T-Oil. Also, we've got a little bit of shop display advertising material here. These turn up from time to time, and they're always useful for people who are collectors. When they've got the collection on display, if they can find any old original sales literature, it displays with the collection. Here, for example, these are mainly train related. We've got Hornby Railways clockwork train sets. That's probably from the 60s and 70s period. We've got another one here from Marklin, a well-respected German maker. We've got a group of literature there from McConnell, and then here finally we've got Hornby introducing a particular popular locomotive there, the Black 5, the Southern Railway schools class locomotive, and then a Hornby sign. And these will go down well with people who collect Hornby trains, and you can put them on display with the collection. Okay, and that then should bring the whole sale, over 400 lots, to a close. That's on the 24th of November. You can bid online, you can ring up for condition reports, you can come and bid in person, you can get telephone bids, or leave a commission bid. But do have a look online at the catalogue. It'll be online a couple of weeks before, and choose what you want to buy. And good luck with that, and happy bidding. Thank you.